name is Hallie Salmon, and I'm project engineer for Jamaica Private Port Company, and I also serve as technical services manager for Evergo.
I'd like to describe myself as kind, intelligent, and motivated.
My name is Kathy Gooden Gardner. I work in the operations department as a control room operator, and I have been in this position for the past 2 years.
Using the letters of Evergo to describe myself, I would say I am enigmatic, versatile, earnest, resourceful, gorgeous, and optimistic.
K is for kind, I is for intelligent, and M is for motivated.
Kind, attentive, talkative, hardworking, and young at heart.
I'm definitely a mix between a girly girl and a tomboy.
I'm a mix of both. Grew up with the brothers, so automatically it was tomboy. But then went to a girls' school and became girly.
I like having my nails done and my hair in cute hairstyles. But I like going to car races and fixing stuff at home by myself.
I don't consider myself a femme either. My whole aesthetic skews feminine. Although my outdoor activities, I really like outdoor activities, so persons would probably think that I'm a tomboy, but my demeanor is 100% ladylike.
I swing between both of them, girly, tomboy, or a good mix.
5 things that are always in my bag are my phones, my hand sanitizer, my wipes.
Mindset. Mindset is a survival tool, like you have to be prepared for the day, right? Secondly, I have to have my money, both cash and credit or debit card, because sometimes you go places and the card machine is not working, so I have to have my cash on me.
I always have my wallet, car keys,
my pouch with my deodorant, because my hair always smells clean.
And lip gloss.
I am both a saver and a spender because life is made to be lived, but I need to make sure I can buy my house one day. So.
My playlist is 90s alternative music, alternative rock and roll, and pop.
A typical work day for a facilities engineer, me, would be coming in, checking to make sure that the balance of plant is okay, lights are working, water, making sure that ACs are functional. We have to make sure that the place is habitable for you guys to come to work and be comfortable to be as productive as you can. And any problems that you have, we'll have to get it fixed ASAP.
An engineer must possess certain characteristics or traits, right? So you have to be diligent, right? You have to be detail-oriented. Attention for detail is very critical, and you just have to be curious by nature. That's the only way you're going to improve yourself, by wanting to know more.
In my opinion, good traits for an engineer to have would just be somebody who cares about what they're doing, because it takes so much to be a good engineer. You have to be considerate of everybody. You have to be cautious of what you're doing, the planning, designing. If you have people in the space, if you don't, weight, loading, and all of these things, you have to really be considerate. So it takes a whole lot of time. You have to be patient. Your temper has to be under control because you can't please everyone. Yeah.
An engineer must be able to communicate clearly, must be able to think quickly on their feet. Engineer definitely needs to be a good problem solver.
I would definitely say that there are biases in the field of engineering, especially towards women.
Being in the industry these past almost 20 years, I've seen many different forms of bias, stereotyping, discrimination towards women.
I have witnessed stereotype within my field, and some of it is because some of the men are traditional and they just believe that females can't do what they're doing, while sometimes some of the females don't level up, so they're perceived that way because of how they behave.
You are often seen as the underdog. You're often seen as not person second guess a lot of what you say, even though you went to school for it and you've probably had more experience than some people. They just prefer to get second opinions, but all you have to do is really just stick to it and show them that you know what you're doing.
Sometimes the bias would be for the good, many times it's not. For instance, men are going to always try to be more helpful because of a certain bias that they've learned. But then on the other hand, that same helpfulness will say, oh, women are too weak to be in this industry. So there are good and bad sides to the same bias. It always brings a positive and a negative with it.
For me, I've never experienced that. I'm a very robust person. My male counterparts oftentimes respect me, look up to me. So I've never experienced that within the work environment. However, when I do go out and I get all dolled up and dressed up and I enter into any social gathering and it comes down to the question, what do you do? And I say, I'm an engineer. Person will look at me and like, engineer? You're too pretty and stuff like that. Otherwise, within my work environment, no, I don't face that because I pull my own weight.
Oh, my dad inspired me to be an engineer for sure. He's a mechanical engineer, and even though I'm not foresee to be, oily and greasy and all of those stuff, I always wanted to do something very close to what he was doing, and I just love buildings and architecture, so civil was my choice.
Growing up with brothers, I was more hands-on, and my brothers are mechanically inclined. They're both auto mechanics, and that inspired me to pursue that career in terms of becoming an engineer.
Up to 9th grade, I wanted to be a pediatrician, but then when we gave our first introduction, everybody wanted to be a pediatrician, like 80% of the class, and I wanted to be different. So I went, I did my research, and I'm like, the world could do good with more engineers, especially Jamaica. So that's how I made my choice to become an engineer.
Medicine seemed too hard at the time, so engineering it was. And it was the influence of my brothers and my mother that really pushed me to pursue this career.
No, I don't think there's anything I would wish I knew now. I've been fortunate to have known a lot of things from before I started school for engineering, and even during school I was working, so I've had a well-rounded experience in the field.
If I should go back to being 16-year-old, which I'd love, I would tell myself to network more. Coming in the work world, I realized that networking is one of the strongest tools you could ever have. Like just being involved, knowing people, sometimes it all comes down to who you know, who can support you, for you to basically climb the ladder of success.
To my 16-year-old self, I would tell her to be a little bit more deliberate and less cautious in any decisions that she was making, whether related to engineering or otherwise, just to be sure of what she was doing. Because now, although I know what I want to do or where I am, I'm sure of, it would have been nicer to be a little sure of it before.
I decided to go the hard route to get my degree, so I wanted to pay for my education. And it took me 10 years longer than I would have liked it to. Just go to student loan people.
I want to be remembered for a lot of stuff, but within this organization, I want to contribute to the growth and expansion of the company and also assist with the extension of the PPA so that the company can remain viable.
I would like to be remembered for building things or making things just in general that people are going to use, spaces that people are going to use and feel comfortable with. Walking into it and knowing that it was designed properly, knowing that it'll be there for a while, knowing that they'll use it and it'll just be there and it won't just disappear after 1 year or two. It'll be there for years and years to come, and I can tell my kids about it.
I would like to be remembered for bringing fun, life, and a female flair to my industry, and just putting a little life in it. a little feminine touch, and that's what I would love to be remembered for. Just be happy-go-lucky Cathy.
So what I tell females who want to come into a male-dominated field is that theory of being male-dominated is long gone.
My advice would be to just do it. I mean, there's nothing else you can do more than to just do it and just prove to them that, you know, even if they're going to second guess it, that you're capable. And you know you are, so just go ahead.
Be what you want to be. If you want to be a pilot, if you want to be an engineer, there is space. We're in modern society, so just be what you want to be. Do you.
I think more people should enter the field of engineering. It takes a lot of strength and knowledge, but I definitely think more females should, because it's already predominantly male dominated, and it would be nice to see more females out there showing that they got it, you know?
My Women's Day message, if I were to coin one, would be continue fighting.
What we as women can achieve is limitless. What we need to do is put all our fears behind and let our voices be heard in every decision and leadership role in this society.